BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey, what's up, BodyBags? When this is uploaded, it'll be Christmas, so Merry Christmas. This week was a summer camp themed week, summer camp themed, and I don't have a whole lot of summer camp movies. I mean, I obviously have the classics and stuff, but I figure I'm in New Jersey now, visiting my mom for Christmas, so I figured I'd do a New Jersey classic or a remake of it. And that's Friday the 13th, the 2009 Killer Cut, and I actually really love this movie. You know, the movie gets a lot of hate, especially people even say the Nightmare on Elm Street remake is better than the Friday the 13th remake, which to me is really crazy. But I love the whole look. It has a real Hollywood slick feel, which I really like, and the whole intro, it's like the 20-minute intro, pretty much. That kind of, when you first see it, you're faked into thinking this is the actual cast or whatever, with the dude looking for weed. And, he finds it. There's some brutal deaths that way. And it has one of my favorite sequences in Friday the 13th history, when the chick in the sleeping bag is caught on fire, hanging over the fire, and the dude's like on the ground, and you just see Jason hauling ass out of nowhere and just running with the bag over his head, and just slams the machete in the top of his head, and it goes like halfway down his head. I thought that was badass. Now, and then when the title card comes up, Friday the 13th, and you're like a half hour into the movie, it pumped me up. It was badass. But then you're introduced to a new cast of characters, which I really didn't like as much, but it did amp it up, the stereotypes. You had the stoners, you had the douchebag guy, Trent, who really, you do hate his character. He's a huge douchebag. And then there's the chicks, but then there's the Jordan Padalecki, I think that's his name. I don't like him that much. I never watched Supernatural. I think that was the show he was in. And I never really saw too many movies with him in it, but there's just something about him I never really cared for. And he was just bland in this movie. He didn't really do anything for me or nothing like that. Now, the whole tunnel system that they introduced in this movie, I thought was interesting. I'm not 100% sure if I really dug it or not, but it does explain how Jason does appear in all these random places at any given time. So I do appreciate that they did something to pretty much explain all that. I really did like Jason in this movie too. I like the fact that he just hauls ass at you, and he's like a real skilled hunter who'll have like a bow and arrow and shoot you all across the lake with a bow and arrow. And one of my favorite deaths in this naked chick, she's like swimming under this dock, and she thinks she's safe because you can see Jason walking on the dock above her, and it looked like Jason didn't see her or nothing. And then next thing you know, machete goes through the top of the dock into the top of her head, and he lifts her up and takes the machete out, and it was just a badass set piece. You know, like I said, the location, just the way Crystal Lake and all that looked in this new Hollywood real hyper slick version, it just worked for me. And the scene where he gets the mask, it's cool. I didn't like it as much as him getting it from Shelley in part 3, but it was still cool how they did it and everything. But I mean, as far as horror remakes go, I definitely give Friday the 13th one of the better ratings of all of them. I think this and Texas Chainsaw Massacre may be the best horror remakes for like the past 10 years as far as modern, the whole boom goes. So I definitely, I'm a huge fan of the Friday the 13th series, and it's probably in my top 5. How many are there? There's 12. It's probably in my top 6 Friday the 13th movies. So I mean, that's saying something. I mean, I'm sure everyone on this channel has seen it, but if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. If you're a horror fan, you need to. And this 3-pack goes for what, $10 or something online, Blu-ray. So yeah, I mean, all of these are good, except I literally hate the Nightmare on Elm Street remake with a passion, just because I'll get into that another time. But yeah, definitely check out Friday the 13th from 2009 if you haven't. I mean, to me, it's a classic as far as modern horror movies go. Anyways, guys, peace.